Hello everybody, welcome back to my EVS class and I am your EVS teacher Sakshi Sharma. So today we are learning about how plants grow, that is your chapter number 8, right? Now first is reproduction in plants. The very first thing that we are going to learn about the plant is the reproduction. All living things produce their little ones and the process is known as reproduction. Some animals, include human beings, reproduce by giving birth to the babies. Some animals like birds, they lay eggs. Different plants use different methods to reproduce. So first we are going to talk about plant reproduction is the creation of new plants by one or more parent plants. All living things produce their little ones and the process is known as reproduction. Flowers plays an important role in the reproduction of plants. Different plants use different methods to reproduce, like with seeds as well as with birds. Now reproduction in plants by buds. How? The biggest example we can take is mint, right? For example, this is a mint plant and there is one branch that is just going through and it is getting into the soil, growing the roots here, and again here the new plant will grow up. Now most plants reproduce through seeds. Seeds of a plant can be found inside the fruit, as we know. Some fruits such as papaya and pomegranate have many seeds inside them. Mango also is having only one seed, right? Flowers play a very important role in the reproduction of a plant. When an insect visits a flower for nectar, the loose yellow pollens of the flower is brushed onto the insect's body. As the insect visits another flower, the pollen grains from the insect's body enter the sticky tube of the flower. This tube is called stigma, the female part of a flower. The pollen grains help the formation of seeds. Simply, here comes the process of pollination. Now after pollination, what is happening? The process by which a seed is formed is called fertilization, right? After fertilization, the flower dries up and a fruit is formed. So very simple definition that you have to keep in your mind is the process by which a seed is formed is known as fertilization. After the fertilization, the flower dries up and the fruit is formed. Now we have the fruit with us. Now we will be talking about the structure of a seed, right? So structure of a seed contains a baby plant called embryo. You can see here. So this is the embryo. Embryo uses proper conditions like of light, temperature, water and nutrients from the soil to grow into a seedling. This is the reason that for example you have a lot of seeds, pulses at your home in your kitchen. Have you ever thought that why these seeds are not growing up into a plant? The simple answer is that the seed that you have kept in a box or in any of the container, they are not getting proper light, temperature, water and soil. So that's why these seeds are not getting ready are not converting into a seedling, into a plant, right? The seed is wrapped in a seed coat, this hard outer covering that protects the seed. So here the brown colored covering that you are seeing here around the seed is the seed coat, right? It is helping the seed to stay safe. These are basically the cotyledons. The yellow portion is the food store that is in a form of cotyledon. I am going to tell you what are these. Then embryo, we have learnt this is the first leaf that grows inside the seed only, and after some time when it gets a lot of all the conditions that is very proper for a seed, then only it will grow out. Then we have seed coat, you already know it. Now cotyledons, what are these cotyledons? The food for the embryo is stored in a special seed leaf called cotyledons. A seed may have one cotyledon, it is known as monocot, or a seed can have two cotyledons, it will be known as dicot. One cotyledon is monocot, two cotyledons is dicot. Now you can get confused with these two terms, so I am gonna give you very simple example. here so that you can just relate to it and you can keep it in your mind for a very longer time. I have a cousin whose name is Monu Bhaiya, right? So now Monu Bhaiya is one, so that means monocot. This is how I have learnt in my childhood, right? Monocot is one cotyledon. So for that I will not be getting confused. So how have I learned that? I have one my cousin whose name is Mono, right? Monu Bhaiya, and Monu Bhaiya is one, so that means mono means one cotyledon, whereas di means two cotyledon. I hope it will help you in your exams and you will not get confused with it. This is the process of germination. You have one seed, then this is the embryo. The first part of a plant that comes out is the root that goes downwards, right? This is your root. After that the seed coats start deleting, okay? The seed coat start just cutting it off. The seed cotyledons come out of it and it start vanishes off, right? It start deteriorating, सड़ जाता है seed coat. Now what is happening? After that these cotyledons comes out. So you can check also in your gardens if there is any plant which is growing out of a seed. For this we are going to do one activity also. The activity is germination of the seed, right? So what is happening? This seed coat burst open and what is coming out? The cotyledons are coming out. So these are your two cotyledons. That maximum of the plants are having only two cotyledons. Only the grass is having single cotyledon, right? So these two cotyledons are providing the food to the plant, because leaves are the kitchen of a plant. So unless there are leaves, the plant cannot make the food. So these cotyledons are basically helping a plant to get food, right? Once the leaves are grown up, then these cotyledons just fall off. Now the process of germination. See here, you can see these are the cotyledons, right? Once there are leaves, these cotyledons will fall off. Here there is no cotyledon and it is fully prepared, and this is known as a sapling, the small baby plant. The growth of a baby plant from a seed is called germination. The growth of a baby plant from a seed is called germination. It is a process of seeds developing into new plants. First, environmental conditions must trigger the seed to grow. The example that I have given you, that you have kept the seeds in your kitchen, that is in a container, these are not growing up. Why? Because there are no environmental conditions in your kitchen. You are not providing soil, you are not providing water and the sunlight to the seeds. So that's why all the pulses in your home and your kitchen, they are not changing, get converted into a plant, because they are not getting favorable environmental conditions. Once the seed gets these environmental conditions, seed needs oxygen, moisture and proper heat for germination. Once all these things the seed gets, what will happen? The seed will start germinating and finally will reach as a sapling. The seed keeps growing bigger and finally the seed coat bursts open, right? The tiny root appears and grows downwards. This is the first thing which happens to the seed. Another is the tiny shoot that grows upward and becomes a plant. At this infant stage, the plant is called seedling. This is your seedling. The small baby plant is known as seedling. Slowly the baby plant becomes an adult plant. Okay, this baby plant will be grown up as an adult plant. Now comes dispersal of seed, which is very important. It is necessary that all the seeds of a particular plant get dispersed, that is spread out over a larger area. If the seeds are not dispersed, they will grow very close, right, together, and the seeds might compete with each other for light, space, water and nutrients. Thus none of these seeds would get the proper conditions to grow. That's why dispersal of seed is very important. Did you know from your book only, a seed can remain inactive for many years. It will start germinating only when it gets the right conditions required for germination. Again, the seeds in your kitchen are the biggest example. They are not germinating. Why? Because they are not getting the favorable environmental conditions. Seed dispersal is a movement, spread or transport of seed away from the parent plant. There are 5 main modes of seed dispersal. What are these? First is gravity, that the seed from a plant will always fall towards the earth, right, because of the gravity. Second comes wind. When there is a lot of winds, then the seed get dispersed. This is the example. Third is explosion. There are many plants which explode. In the next slide I will be showing you those examples also to make your concept more clear. Then comes water. Maybe your floods, your rain will help these seeds to disperse easily. Then comes animals as well as plants. So animals, there are many seeds which get attached to the back of the animal. They stick with the back of the animal and will fall off little far from the parent plant. Then comes birds also. Birds feed on these seeds, and finally they poop. Wherever they poop, there will be a new plant. Dispersal of seed is very important for the survival of plant species. Yes, obviously it is. If plant grows too close, right, all together, they have to compete for light, water and nutrients from the soil. Seed dispersal allows plant to spread out from a wide area, right, and avoid competing with one another for the same resources. So that's why this dispersal is very important. So this is the slide which I was talking about. All these plants, all these seeds are basically dispersed by wind, right. All these seeds are dispersed by animals. They just stick with the body of the animal and fall off somewhere else. These are by water, right. The example is your lotus, cattail, coconut. By bursting, all these seeds basically disperse off by bursting. These plants burst open, right, and then what happens? All the seeds fall off very far from the parent plant. Thank you so much. I hope everything is clear to you and you really have a smiling face right now. If not, if you have any question, please ask me in the comment box. I'll be there to help you out. Have a wonderful learning. Stay safe, keep learning, keep smiling.